Delmor Firth, a 9th level fighter mage who has dedicated himself to protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Born on the 10th of Eland in 962, the year of the drowned earth. Born to a moderately wealthy family, Delmor could have had an easier life, though his parents wanted him to make his own way through it. His mother was a mage of some renown, and his father was captain of the city watch, so Delmor and his older brother Brenton had a choice of paths to follow. Brenton chose to follow in their father's footsteps, learning martial skills, and would eventually take over his father's job to become the new captain of the city guard. However, Delmor surprised both his parents when he said he wanted to train both in martial skills and in the magics of Maestro. His parents warned him that he would not be able to truly master both, and that trying to follow both paths would be risky, but he stood firm in his decision. He was confident that he could use the skills of both to outwit stronger opponents of either skill set. His father thought this was foolish, though his mother saw the potential in Delmor's goals, and convinced his father to allow him to pursue it. While Brenton spent his days with solely his father training in martial skills, Delmor moved between each parent daily to learn the skills of both. As Delmor matured into adulthood, his relationship with his father and brother grew more tenuous. Being men of the city watch, they both firmly believed in upholding the law as it was there for the good of everyone. Delmor disagreed though, often pointing out the difference in standards between nobility and the common folk. Word of nobles getting away with infractions of the law often angered Delmor, as the working folk could be punished for not making tax payments they simply could not afford. He believed in doing what was right, regardless of what the law said, and didn't hide these beliefs. It wasn't long into his adult years when his father refused to train him any further and had little to do with him. His mother, however, was more supportive of Delmor's view, only warning him that he should be a little more tactful with where he made it known. This was advice that Delmor never really listened to. The year 985, a sickness spread through the city of Carnag in the early winter months. A sickness that restricted people's ability to breathe and turning their extremities black as their bodies slowly died and rotted. Lord Steadfast was forced to put the city in lockdown to stop the spread of the sickness. No one was allowed to leave their homes, with the city watch delivering food to the people of Carnag. However, the guild of thieves and folks known as the Veiled Shadows took this opportunity to raid the poor folk of the city. With the city watch already stretched thin, no one was there to stop them preying on honest folks trying to keep their families safe. No one until Delmor had had enough. Ignoring the protests of his parents, he left the house and spent the next 2 months of the lockdown fighting the Veiled Shadows to protect the common folk where he could. His efforts earned him the respect and loyalty of all common folk of Carnag, who would later offer him free food and shelter when needed. After a few months of lockdown, the sickness abated with surprisingly few deaths due to the swiftness of Lord Steadfast's actions. However, many nobles were unhappy at having been forced to remain locked in their homes. After his often public call-outs against them, the nobles demanded that Delmor be banished from the city for breaking lockdown law. His parents too disowned him for his actions, as Lord Steadfast ordered for Delmor to be brought before him. This angered many of the common folk who saw Delmor as a hero and stood by him as his actions. For Delmor himself, he left the city after hearing of the order for him to be taken to the Lord Steadfast. In his own words, he wouldn't wait to be punished for doing the right thing. Delmor is a multi-class 9th level character with 5 levels in his base class of fighter and 4 levels in wizard. Being multi-classed forces Delmor to fight smart, though he wears breastplate and a cloak, usually wielding a longsword as his chosen weapon. A small silver ring engraved with crossed swords acts as his spellcasting focus. He keeps his cloak on at all times, concealing the spellbook on his waist. His outward appearance hides his magic abilities, allowing him to catch his opponents off guard, which he usually uses to great effect both in and out of combat. He's proficient in animal handling, athletics, perception and survival. For his fighting style, he takes the dual wielding style, combining it with the Battlemaster archetype for greater versatility in combat. From this archetype, he has the ambush, brace and disarming attack maneuvers to give him the edge in combat. From his arcane skills, Delmor is a student of the School of Conjuration, making it easier for him to learn conjuration spells. It also allows him to conjure any inanimate object he requires within a small size and weight limit. The Arcane Recovery skill also grants him the ability to recover some of his spell slots on a short rest, helping him to recover quickly. Delmor's feats include the Human Determination and Warcaster feat. Human Determination grants advantage on rolls of his choosing at any point, though he can only use this once before needing a long rest to recover it. Warcaster allows him to use his magic more effectively in battle, as he can better concentrate on spells despite attacks made against him, and still perform semantic components of spells with his weapon in hand. Being a 4th level wizard, Delmor currently has access to 4 first level spell slots and 3 second level spell slots. He usually prefers to learn spells of utility such as Misty Step, or spells to hinder his opponents such as the Web spell. However, he still takes a few small evocation spells such as Magic Missile to keep his options in battle open. His cantrips include Firebolt, Mage Hand, Light and Lightning Lure. As a multi-class character, Delmor can't match the raw martial skill of a full level fighter, nor the arcane ability of a full level wizard. Instead, he seeks versatility in his skill set and analyzes his opponents for weaknesses. He will often keep his arcane abilities hidden to catch opponents off guard, since his outward appearance gives no sign of any magical ability. If given the time, Delmor will plan out how he will handle any given foe, though is also capable of using his wits and quick thinking to change his combat style on the fly to better suit new opponents. His magic usually allows him to hinder his foes and move around quickly, creating more opportunities to gain the advantage martially speaking, while also moving away quickly when needed. However, he burns through his abilities quickly and often needs to rest between encounters to be back at full strength. Delmor needs to finish encounters quickly before his split abilities become spent, putting him at risk. No one knows whether Delmor is really banished from the city of Carnag or not, though many presume he is. Lord Steadfast has never told anyone what his final decision on the matter was, only that Delmor should be brought before him should he ever be seen in the city again. Delmor himself travels around the Shielded Islands and other countries nearby, seeking to help those who cannot help themselves. Events in Carnag, however, didn't help his opinion of Noble, and still holds contempt for the nobility, an opinion he doesn't care to keep hidden. He rarely returns to Carnag, but does so when the occasion calls for it. When he does, the common folk of the city give him food and shelter, as well as keeping him hidden from the city guards. While he isn't a member of the Oaken Shield, he is close friends with some of the members, and uses the Guildmaster Shinura as a source of intelligence. Despite his habit of upsetting those in power and having a sometimes brash attitude, there are few who care for the honest, hard-working folks as Delmor Firth. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to see more content like this, then hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. You can also find me on other platforms like Twitch and Blue Sky. If you want to support these videos, then head over to my Ko-Fi, linked below.